Patishall here with the Clearwater Jazz Holiday. I just want to thank all of you for joining me for my very first guitar lesson with the Young Lions Jazz Master virtual sessions. What we're going to do right here is give you a quick recap of everything we covered. Our first lesson was an introduction to jazz guitar with a primary focus on functional chord forms and practical application. Maybe you're a beginning jazz student. Maybe you've been playing guitar for a while, but you're coming from more of a blues or a rock background. That's totally cool. And maybe some of you are aspiring songwriters and looking for some fresh ideas to harmony. And so this lesson is ideal for any of those. So let's jump into it. If you remember, we talked about 6 primary shapes. Those with the root on the 6th string and those with the root on the 5th string. All right, it is going to be essential that you have a general understanding of the fretboard, being able to navigate the neck and have a sense of the geography, if you will, of the layout, okay? So let's jump into these chord forms. So to start, we discussed 3 primary sounds: the major 7, the minor 7, and the dominant 7. We talked about how if you can cover those sounds, you'll navigate just about 75 to 80% of almost every tune. Right? You'll have to fill in the gaps here and there if you're playing some sort of a jazz standard or looking off a lead sheet. But if you can play these shapes that we're about to go over, that's going to get you through a good portion of the song. Again, remember, with these shapes, we're looking for functionality. We're not looking to get overly creative right now. We're just trying to give you the tools to be able to cover the part. So we had 6 primary shapes. There were 3 where the root is on the 6th string. Here I'm at the 3rd fret, by the way. And then we had 3 with the root on the 5th string. Again, that's in the 3rd fret. This is going to be our central position. So I line up. Let's discuss the first 3. Root on 6. What I need is a major 7. This is G major 7. I put the first finger here on the 6th string, second finger on the 2nd string in the 3rd fret. I go over 1 fret to the 4th fret, 3rd finger is on the 4th string, and the 4th finger goes just below that on the 3rd string. This finger here, that first finger, is more or less muting that 5th string, and I strum. That's a major 7, G major 7. Now, G minor 7. Lay the bar across the 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the 5th string, on the 5th fret. G minor 7. If you haven't had much experience with bar chords, you'll definitely want to spend some time getting those shapes under your fingers. You're going to need some strength behind that first finger so that you can create that bar. The bar is where you have 1 finger laying across the entire fret there. And once you get that down, you can add that third finger on the 5th string. Okay, the last shape on the 6th string, with the root on the 6th, is the G dominant 7. I create that bar again. The 2nd finger is on the 3rd string in the 4th fret, 3rd finger on the 5th string in the 5th fret. If you've had any experience with the blues, and for all you blues and rock players out there, this chord, you may be familiar with this. These shapes will translate to jazz as well, all right? So if there are many parallels between jazz and blues. They're close relatives. So a lot of that information is going to translate nicely into this idiom as well. Now let's jump to the next 3 shapes. I have the root on 5th string. So now we're going to be dealing with, our root is going to be C. First finger on the 5th string, 3rd finger on the 5th fret on the 4th string, 2nd finger is on the 3rd string on the 4th fret, and now I've got my 4th finger on the 2nd string in the 5th fret. All right, and I can create a bar if I like as well, from the 5th string down on the 3rd fret. So it's a 3 fret shape here. That's C major 7. To make a C minor 7, all I have to do, move my 2nd finger down 1 string, Everything else stays in place. Get rid of the pinky, that's my fourth finger, strum. C minor 7. And finally, the C dominant 7. I'm going to lay that fourth finger back down onto the second string in the 5th fret, get rid of that middle finger, keep the bar in place on the 3rd fret, and now I have a C dominant 7. So let's review. G major 7, G minor 7, G dominant 7, C major 7, here, root on the 5th string, C major 7, C minor 7, and C dominant 7. Now, once you have these shapes under your fingers, please note that they are movable. I can go down a half step. So, for instance, this would be G major 7, now it becomes G flat major 7 or F sharp major 7. I can come up here, it becomes A flat major 7, A major 7, and so on up the neck. Same thing with these shapes, they are movable. So once you learn them, you need to memorize the shapes, but once you know them, they're movable. So you'll be able to navigate the neck quite easily, all right? Again, you will need to know some fretboard knowledge, and we're going to go over that in one of my next lessons. So you've got your 3 primary sounds, major 7s, minor 7s, and dominant 7s covered. That again is going to get you, if you can play at least those 3 sounds, now you've got some options for navigating the neck. You can at least cover the part if somebody throws a lead sheet in front of you. All right, as far as rhythms go, when I'm practicing these, I can go with the traditional, just kind of straight swing, kind of swung quarter note rhythm that you hear a lot in jazz, especially early swing or big band. When I practice, I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Switching to the root on 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4. Minor 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dominant 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more time. G major 7. G minor 7. G dominant 7. 1, 2, moving on. C major 7. C minor 7. C dominant 7. Now, although I didn't set a metronome for this, it will really be crucial for you to work on your time and practice this in time. So set your metronome at a slow beat, a slow tempo, maybe your 80 BPM, 90 BPM, and just see if you can play right to that click. And we'll talk about working with metronomes later on down the road, all right? But again, if you can play these 3 sounds, these 6 shapes, you're gonna cover a good portion of those tunes that you're gonna encounter from the get-go, okay? So again, I really appreciate you taking time out to study with me, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next lesson where we talk about fretboard layout and even some blues, all right? So we'll talk to you soon.